We're having another baby. For words that should have filled me with joy. Instead, they filled me with dread. Because I'm Kylan Brooks, a data analyst who works with patterns, and the pattern in front of me didn't add up. My wife Peace was glowing at our anniversary dinner, wearing a dress I'd never seen, announcing a pregnancy that mathematically shouldn't exist. 3 weeks later, I discover hotel receipts, secret dinners, a man named Damien, and text messages that read, "Once I figure out the financial angle." Kylan's bonuses were huge. I need to time this right. She'd been playing chess while I thought we were playing checkers. But here's what Peace didn't know. I'm really good with patterns. Viewers, have you ever been betrayed by the one person you trusted most? How did you handle it? Because what I did next will either make you cheer or question my morality. Either way, you need to hear this story. My name is Kylan Brooks. I'm 34 years old, a senior data analyst at a fintech company in Austin, Texas. I work with numbers, patterns, algorithms, things that don't lie. I've been married to Peace for 7 years. We have 2 daughters, Maya 6 and Jordan 4. I thought I knew my wife. I thought I understood the patterns of our life together. But on September 14th, our anniversary, everything I believed shattered like glass under a hammer. The restaurant was perfect. Warm amber lighting, candles flickering between us, soft jazz playing in the background. Peace wore this emerald dress I'd never seen before. Her makeup was flawless, but her eyes kept darting away from mine. 7 years together and I'd learned to read her micro-expressions. Something was off. "Kylan," she said, reaching across the white tablecloth. Her palm was sweating. "I have something incredible to tell you." I smiled, expecting news about a promotion, maybe something about her sister finally getting engaged. She pulled out a small wrapped box from her purse. Inside was a pregnancy test. Positive. "We're having another baby," she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. I should have been overjoyed. But my mind flashed to 3 weeks ago. Our intimate life had been non-existent for months. We'd been sleeping in separate rooms since May because of her work stress. The math didn't add up. Something felt calculated in the way she watched my reaction, like she was studying me. "That's amazing, honey," I managed, my analyst brain already running calculations I didn't want to run. We toasted, her water, my wine. As the glasses clinked, I caught her glancing at her phone under the table. A message notification illuminated her face for just a second before she locked the screen. Her smile never wavered, but I saw it. That flicker of something else. Something hidden. I couldn't sleep that night. While Peace snored softly down the hall, I sat in my home office, the blue glow of my computer screen illuminating spreadsheets and bank statements across dual monitors. I did what I do best. I analyzed data. Our joint credit card showed charges I didn't recognize. Hotel room in downtown Austin, March 12th. She told me she was at a marketing conference in Dallas that day. Expensive dinner for 2 at Fleming's, April 8th. I was visiting my sick father in Houston that weekend. Victoria's Secret, $347. I hadn't received any of those benefits. The distance started last fall. Peace joined a professional development group that met Tuesday and Thursday evenings. She'd come home energized, glowing, talking about networking and mentorship opportunities. I was happy she'd found something that excited her. I was drowning in a major project, 60-hour weeks for months. We were just 2 busy professionals managing life, or so I thought. But now, staring at these transactions, other memories surfaced. Last November, she suddenly insisted on separate phone plans for better business expense tracking. She changed her phone password. Started showering immediately after coming home from meetings. Small things I'd dismissed, now forming a pattern I couldn't ignore. I opened our shared Google Calendar. Peace was meticulous about scheduling, doctor appointments, kids' activities, everything documented. I searched for OBGYN appointments. Nothing. No pregnancy-related entries at all. For someone who just announced a 3rd pregnancy, she hadn't seen a doctor. My hands trembled on the mouse as I minimized the windows. Footsteps in the hallway. Peace appeared at the door in her silk nightgown, backlit by hallway light, her silhouette somehow ominous in the darkness. "Kylan? Why are you still up?" "Come to bed," she said softly, her voice carrying something I couldn't quite identify. Was it concern? Or was it fear? Morning light streamed through kitchen windows as I poured coffee, watching Peace feed our daughters breakfast. Everything looked normal, but something had shifted inside me. I couldn't unsee the patterns anymore. "Babe, remind me, what's the name of your professional development group again?" I asked casually. Peace paused mid-bite of toast. Just a fraction of a second too long. "MPG, Marketing Professionals Growth. Why? Just curious. You've been so dedicated to it. I thought maybe I'd look into something similar for data analysts. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. It's pretty industry specific. Probably wouldn't translate well. I'd never been the jealous type. My parents had a solid marriage, 42 years and counting. My dad always said trust was the foundation. Without it, you have nothing. I'd taken that to heart. Never checked Peace's phone. Never questioned her whereabouts. Never demanded passwords. I thought that's what healthy relationships looked like. My best friend Marcus had warned me once, 2 years ago at a barbecue. He'd seen Peace at a bar downtown when she said she was at a work dinner. I dismissed it. Probably just happy hour with colleagues. Marcus had shrugged, looking uncomfortable. She didn't see me, he'd said. She was pretty focused on whoever she was with. I'd forgotten about that conversation. Until now. That Tuesday evening, I told Peace I had a late meeting. Instead, I followed her. My heart hammered against my ribs as I trailed 3 cars back. I felt ridiculous, like a character in a bad movie. But I needed to know. She drove to a condo complex in the Clarksville neighborhood. Expensive place. She parked in the visitor section, checked her makeup in the rearview mirror, and walked to Building C. 15 minutes later, a man opened the door to Unit 204. Tall, athletic, perfect teeth visible even from across the street. He kissed her. I sat in Marcus's dive bar in East Austin, neon beer signs casting red and blue light across dark wood booths. Marcus slid a bourbon toward me without asking. He'd been my best friend since college. He knew when words weren't necessary. I told him everything. The pregnancy announcement. The financial records. The condo. The kiss. Marcus listened without interruption, his expression growing darker with each revelation. You look like hell, he finally said. I feel worse. Marcus went through a brutal divorce 3 years ago. His ex-wife had been cheating with his business partner. He lost half his company in the settlement, even though she'd been unfaithful. Texas is a no-fault divorce state, but infidelity can impact asset division and custody if properly documented. Kylan, before you do anything, you need evidence. Real, documented evidence. He slid a business card across the table. Stephanie Chin, private investigator. She's expensive, but she saved me financially and got me primary custody of my kids. I stared at the card. Hiring a private investigator felt like crossing a line, admitting my marriage was truly over. And Kylan? Marcus leaned forward. About the pregnancy. You need to know if that child is yours before you sign anything. Before your name goes on a birth certificate. If it's not yours and you accept paternity, Texas law makes you responsible regardless. My stomach turned. How do I even ask for a DNA test? She's pregnant. Marcus pulled out his phone, showing me articles about prenatal paternity testing. Non-invasive tests done after 8 weeks with just a blood sample from the mother and a cheek swab from the potential father. $1,500 results in a week, Marcus said. But she has to consent. If she refuses, that tells you something. Through the bar window behind us, a figure walked past that looked eerily like Peace. I froze, but when I looked again, the street was empty. Just shadows playing tricks. Stephanie Chin sat across from me in a coffee shop, late afternoon light streaming through large windows. She was professional, early 40s, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. A manila folder sat closed on the table between us. Mr. Brooks, before I show you this, I need to know you're ready, she said gently. What I've uncovered is extensive. I nodded, unable to speak. She opened the folder. Photographs spilled out. Peace and the man from the condo. Multiple locations. Multiple dates. Some going back 14 months. His name is Damien Foster. Creative director at the same marketing agency where your wife works. They've been involved since August of last year. Stephanie had documented everything with frightening precision. August 2023, Peace and Damien start working together. Late nights at the office. October, first hotel stay at the Fairmont downtown. December, Peace tells me she wants space to focus on her career. We start sleeping in separate rooms. March 2024, Damien's divorce is finalized. July, Peace stops taking her birth control. She wore that dress for him first, I said, my voice hollow, staring at a photograph of them at Mount Bonnell at sunset. The emerald dress. The one she wore to our anniversary dinner. Stephanie nodded sympathetically. There's more. Damien has been pressuring her to leave you. Text message records show he wants to make things official. He believes the baby is his. She pulled out printed text messages. My hands trembled as I read them. Damien, you need to tell Kylan. We can't keep living this lie. Peace, I know. But his parents' anniversary party is this weekend. I need them on my side for custody. Damien, I love you. I want to be a family. Peace. Once I figure out the financial angle. Kylan's bonuses were huge. I need to time this right. She'd been strategizing, planning, calculating every move. Rebecca Walsh's law office overlooked downtown Austin's skyline through floor-to-ceiling glass walls. She and her associate reviewed Stephanie's documents with practiced efficiency. I sat across from them, feeling like I was watching my life from outside my body. Kylan, everything here is substantial, Rebecca said, her voice measured. But Texas is a community property state. Assets and debts acquired during marriage get divided 50-50 in most cases. Even with cheating? Planning? Possibly carrying another man's child? Rebecca leaned back. Infidelity can influence division of community estate, especially if she spent marital funds on the affair. These hotel rooms, dinners, gifts, that's dissipation of assets. We can argue she wasted community property. She laid out the brutal reality. Our house worth $650,000 with a $200,000 mortgage. My 401k at $180,000. $75,000 in savings. Most importantly, Texas favors joint custody. Unless I could prove Peace was unfit, which she wasn't, I'd be looking at 50-50 custody at best. Half the time away from my daughters. However, Rebecca continued, tapping the evidence folder, if the child isn't yours and we can prove she intended paternity fraud, that shows a pattern of deception affecting character and judgment. How do I prove it? You need her to voluntarily submit to prenatal paternity testing. If she refuses, we can petition the court post-birth, but that's messier. Rebecca handed me a typed list. Don't confront her yet. Document everything. Secure finances. Get a post-nuptive agreement for paternity testing. Gather character witnesses. Don't move out. Act normal. You're asking me to lie to my wife for 2 weeks? Rebecca's expression softened. She's been lying to you for over a year. I'm asking you to protect yourself and your daughters. This isn't revenge. It's survival. Our dining room glowed with soft chandelier light that evening. Peace had cooked my favorite meal, beef Wellington. The table was set beautifully. The girls were at Peace's mother's house for a sleepover. Just us. I wanted tonight to be special, Peace said, pouring sparkling cider into crystal glasses. Just you and me talking about our future. She looked genuinely happy. Radiant even. For a moment I felt doubt. Could there be an explanation? Then I remembered the photographs. The text messages. I need to time this right. Peace, I've been thinking. I started, following Rebecca's script. With a new baby coming, I want to be more involved from the beginning. I felt like I missed so much with Maya and Jordan because of work. She smiled, reaching for my hand. That's so sweet, honey. I was reading about prenatal bonding techniques. And about prenatal testing, not for genetic issues but for connection. Cell-free DNA testing that can determine paternity early. I thought it might help me feel more involved. Her smile froze. A micro-expression flashed across her features. Panic, quickly suppressed. Paternity testing? She laughed, but it sounded forced. Kylan, that's weird, don't you think? Obviously you're the father. I know. I just thought it would be interesting. Science is amazing now. We don't need a test, Kylan. Her voice had an edge now. I pressed gently. It's non-invasive. Just a blood draw and a cheek swab. Peace stood abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood. I said no. Why are you pushing this? Do you not trust me? The mask was cracking. The space between us suddenly felt like miles. The beautiful dinner sat untouched, growing cold as the truth began forcing its way to the surface. I parked 3 spots away from a black Mercedes in the agency parking lot the next evening. Damien's car, according to Stephanie. The modern glass building reflected the orange sunset. Rebecca had advised me to stay away from him, let lawyers handle everything. But I needed to look him in the eye. At 6:47, Damien exited the building. Tall, confident stride, designer suit. He was laughing at something on his phone. Damien Foster, I called out. He turned, confusion crossing his features. Can I help you? I'm Kylan Brooks. Peace's husband. Recognition and fear flashed across his face. To his credit, he didn't run. Look, man, I know this is. You've been sleeping with my wife for 14 months. You want to take my daughters. You think the baby's yours. I kept my voice level, cold. Tell me something. Did she mention she stopped taking birth control to get pregnant? That she couldn't be sure whose child it would be? His confidence wavered. Peace wouldn't. We've been careful until recently. She said you two hadn't been intimate in months. I pulled out my phone, showed him our family calendar. Date nights marked. Intimate moments logged with discrete codes. We sleep under the same roof. Joint accounts. We had sex in July, August, and early September. Damien stumbled backward against his Mercedes. She told me her marriage was over. That you were just coexisting for the kids. Did she mention her texts about timing the divorce financially? About needing my bonuses? What? No. She said you'd been emotionally abusive. That she was afraid to leave. The accusation hit like a slap. I'd never raised my voice until last night. Never raised a hand. She'd been painting me as a villain so he'd feel like her hero. His phone rang. He looked at me then answered. Speaker on. 3 days later, Sunday family dinner at my parents' house. Everyone gathered. My parents, my sister, Peace's parents, her brother. Peace and I sat at opposite ends of the table, tension thick enough to cut. My mother noticed immediately. Is everything okay with you too? I looked at Peace. Gave her one last chance to tell the truth herself. She stared at her plate, silent. No, Mom. Peace has been having an affair for over a year with a coworker. She's pregnant but doesn't know if the baby is mine or his. She's been planning to leave me but was waiting to time it financially. Absolute frozen silence. Fork suspended mid-air. Mouth slightly open. Then chaos. Multiple people speaking at once. What? My mother's voice cut through everything. That's not, Peace started. Kylan, is this true? Her father stood, face pale. It's true, Peace finally said quietly. But it's not that simple. You're pregnant with another man's baby? Her mother looked like she might faint. I don't know whose baby it is. Peace shouted, standing. None of you get to judge me. You don't know what my marriage has been like. How lonely I've been, how invisible. Stop, her father cut her off. Just stop, Peace. This is indefensible. My mother pulled me aside to the kitchen while the dining room erupted in arguments. Kylan, baby, I'm so sorry. What do you need? I need you to be there for the girls. Their world is about to implode. Peace's mother entered, face pale. Kylan, I don't know what to say. Do you want to divorce her? Yes. The word felt final. Heavy. Like dropping an anchor. Back in the dining room, Peace was crying, mascara running. Her brother tried comforting her. My father explained legal realities to hers. I watched her perfect facade completely destroyed, and felt nothing but emptiness. 6 weeks later, I stood in my new apartment making coffee, morning light streaming through bare windows. Minimal furniture. Moving boxes still unpacked. The divorce was filed. Rebecca was handling it with surgical precision. The court-ordered prenatal paternity test had happened. Results would arrive any day. I had temporary custody of Maya and Jordan 4 days a week. They asked when Mommy and Daddy would live together again. I told them the truth as gently as I could. Sometimes adults can't stay married, but we both love them infinitely. Marcus visited that morning, bringing tacos and beer even though it was 10 a.m. You holding up? He asked. Still breathing. Not arrested for assault. He handed me an envelope. Stephanie's final report. Additional details. Inside were bank records showing Peace had opened a secret credit card 2 years ago, not 14 months. The affair timeline was potentially longer. Charges to jewelry stores, romantic getaways, going back to early 2022. My phone rang. Rebecca. Kylan, we have the results. It's yours. The baby is yours. Relief and anguish mixed into something indescribable. My child. Not Damien's. What? Damien is suing Peace for emotional distress and fraud. Between your divorce and his lawsuit, Peace is looking at significant financial and legal consequences. We're pushing for primary custody of all 3 children. That evening, I pushed Jordan on a swing while Maya played on monkey bars. The sun set golden and amber. Their laughter cut through everything. Daddy, are you sad? Jordan asked. Sometimes, baby girl. But when I'm with you and your sister, I'm happy. As they ran toward the car, I texted Peace. The baby is mine. We'll figure out co-parenting. But I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I need to move forward. Get yourself together. Those girls need a mother. 3 dots appeared. I'm so sorry, Kylan. Thank you for being the man I should have cherished. My name is Kylan Brooks. I'm a 34-year-old single father of 3. My wife's betrayal taught me the most important data isn't in spreadsheets. It's in actions, consistency, character. I can't change the past. What I can do is show up every day for my daughters and soon my son. because that's what survivors do. As I buckled Jordan in, I noticed a missed call. Voicemail from Detective Sarah Martinez, Austin PD. Mr. Brooks, we need to speak regarding your wife's former employer. There's been an investigation into fraud and embezzlement. Your wife's name has come up. I stared at my phone, then at my daughter's innocent faces in the rearview mirror. This nightmare wasn't over yet. If this shocked you, subscribe, like, comment and share, because the next story is worse.